All right, all right. Good evening, everybody. It's good to have you guys here. What is it, a Monday morning, first Monday in November of 2019, if I have that right. I'm excited to be here with you guys. So personally, this is my first time actually co-hosting an op call. So I'm very excited to share with you guys. So first off, I want to set an intention for anybody that's here. If you are here for the first time to check out what our group is doing, welcome. And another intention I would say is if you guys are a part of our group, I'm excited to share my story with you and to introduce you guys to Teresa if you haven't heard her story yet. And we're going to share a couple of things that have helped us get to this point where we are in our lives and a little bit about our vision about where we're going. So I'm actually going to hand this off to Teresa first, but I want to tell you guys a little bit about her. Teresa is a wife living in Colorado with her 2 horses and her dog, and big old Great Dane, by the way. Teresa is somebody who has been in traditional business for about 20 years now. So she's very well experienced, and she's also built 2 businesses, health and wellness businesses in the virtual space. So she's become a very good friend of mine. I got to use the best word for her. She's a firecracker. She brings so much energy to the situation, no matter what it is, what's going on, where we're at, and how the day is going. And I just love her so much. So before I hand it off to her, I'm going to play a really quick video. And then, Teresa, I'll just have you go ahead and take it from then. So give me just 1 second, you guys. There's my share button.
Leaves. Like us, there's many. Like you, they're individual. There's a tiny beginning, then flourishing. Everyone working together, dictating the environment, making a contribution with functionality and form, providing life for an entire week, even giving up life, so new life can begin. You and the leaf, alive for a reason, living for a cause.
I just absolutely love that. That really sets so deep in my heart because we are 99% alike. That's how we're connected. We are 1% different. That's what makes us unique. Those gifts and talents in music, art, teaching, creating, and sharing a meal together, making a difference, volunteering, acts of kindness, reaching out and helping others, sharing a laugh and a smile. And at the root of this is really your health, because health is life. And to share a little bit about my story, it really goes back 12 years ago when my husband and I were coming off the highway, waiting to merge with traffic, and we were rear-ended. And overnight, our lives completely changed. For the next year and a half, I was seeing doctors 5 days a week, having multiple surgeries, and taking lots of prescriptions. And what I know now is your health doesn't affect just you. It affects your whole family. And being sick or injured is really expensive. It's the #1 reason for bankruptcy. And my husband and I lost just about everything except our home and 1 vehicle. And from there, my health just started deteriorating. I ended up being diagnosed with rheumatoid arthritis, a severe autoimmune disease, and then 1 diagnosis turned into another and another with lots of prescriptions. One which was a weekly shot of a low-dose chemotherapy drug. And my life at that point became really small. I was only seeing my family and friends a couple times a year. I was no longer being able to grocery shop and run errands, things we just take for granted. I was stuck in my life, and I was stuck in a healthcare system where the only thing they practiced and prescribed was what they knew, medicine. And this became my new norm for the next 8 years. And then a couple years ago, I learned about nutrition and how it can heal the body. And by making some changes, I was able to work off most of my prescriptions and put my RA into remission. But something was still missing. As I started getting back into my life, traveling, seeing my family and friends, just embracing life, my symptoms started coming back. And no matter how much I increased my supplements, changed my diet, researching and adding foods and different herbs to help with this and that, nothing really worked because I was guessing at what I was doing. And then Uforia literally dropped into my lap. And now this, what Cam is going to show you now, it's a beautiful 35-page wellness report. This, my DNA report, showed me what my body needed. And we are pulling this baby up. Isn't this gorgeous? I love this. This showed me what my body needed. This is my results. And now this, as we move into what was created for me, this is my supplement made specifically for me, down to the microgram. My energy has come up. My pain has dramatically decreased. I've lost weight, and within 6 months, my RA has gone back into remission. And I have seen changes in my overall health I have never seen. But most importantly, I am living my life. And I know my journey has all been for a reason. That's purpose. And it's my passion now to align with this company that is making massive changes in our health. We are changing sick care to well care, aligning with individuals, doctors, and a medical community by providing this to their patients. And we are on a mission to change the country's health and future. And now I would like to introduce you to our CEO, Mr. Ron Williams, the man, heart, and vision behind this company, who's going to share a little bit more about what we're doing. Sound. You're muted. Cam, can you hear me? We need sound on the video.
There's no sound?
Nope.
All right, here we go. Let me show you guys my technology skills here. So here we go.
That's all right. We can all wait we can all definitely wait for Mr. Ron Williams.
Yeah, right?
Yeah,
right,
he's the man.
thumbs up when I press play. Can we hear it?
My name is Ron Williams. I am CEO and founder of Uforia Science. And everybody wants to know what Uforia Science is. It starts in a lab, world-class lab, HIPAA and CLIA certified, which means they operate at the highest standards of quality and efficacy, as well as the highest standards of security. Your information will never be seen or sold by anyone but you. And from the lab, they measure what are called your genetic SNPs, single nucleotide polymorphisms, which really we inherit from our parents, and they tell us a lot about genetic variants and what we might be susceptible to in our overall life and our health. And what's cool is once the results come out of the lab, there's an intellectual property of software that has been pioneered by some of the best minds on the planet with DNA. And what happens is your information goes through that sophisticated software and it produces a name, your name, and a barcode. Then the miracle happens. That name and barcode are then scanned by what we've called the Nutritionator. And the Nutritionator will make your very own designer nutrition using nearly 100 plant-based, peer-reviewed ingredients just for you. So we find this to be extremely fascinating. We call that product the Nutritionator. It comes with your name on the label. So what's happening now is people are seeing this movement into DNA. You know, your DNA is your authority on nutrition. So everybody wants in. The problem is they're mimicking the message by saying, here's a DNA test, which is fantastic, by the way. And then they're just using pre-labeled, prefab, pre-made product off of someone's shelf using blind nutrition. So instead of doing a DNA test and blind nutrition, and here, go eat this, and go to the grocery store and buy that, and go to the health food store and buy this, and that's a lot of stress and legwork. So what Uforia does is it removes all the legwork, removes all the guesswork, and it puts it in the palm of your hand, your very own nutrition. You know, I've had a few nights to sleep on this vision and this technology. And I think Uforia has the potential to become, to supplement companies, what Amazon has become to retail outlets. I think there'll come a day when our children's children will say, hey, you mean you guys used to use all the same nutrition for everyone? You know? So I think that this is the future. It's inevitable, and we're leading this future today. So clearly this is also, you know, a business movement. Talk about an opportunity to be on the ground floor of the future today. Even when it confronts the supplement industry, where will you be at the tipping point? And so this is going to be a business that really demands leadership, but it'll be dominated by customers. The nice thing is we've made it affordable. Actually, the technology has made it efficient and affordable. We did a study that if you went to a health food store and you were to try to replicate your nutrition and buying all the ingredients individually, it could cost upwards of a couple $1,000s. Nutrition is delivered to your door for $159. It's a lifetime of luxury. So this just isn't a new product. It's a complete paradigm shift. Being who we truly are at our core and our identity is life-giving in itself. It's empowering, it's liberating. So at Uforia, being you never felt better.
And now I would like to introduce Cameron James. He is currently living in Seattle with his wife. He is a full-time entrepreneur for 3 years. He leads and works with organizations in the hundreds, and he has a heart to bring wellness to those who are seeking a life to live on their own terms. And what I really admire and respect about Cam is his heart and integrity. He loves with his whole heart and really touches people in a way that they know they matter and that they are able to create a difference in the world the same way that Cam is, with love, respect, and connection. He has truly become a part of my family, and to say that we are doing business is amazing. It is so much fun and just impacting this world. And so it's my honor to introduce Cam.
Thanks, Teresa. I love you. Seriously, it's for those of you guys that don't know us, like, I mean, I just met Teresa a couple months ago, and it's a blessing to see what happens when people can come together and what they can create, and just the influence, what a mentor of mine always told, the ripple effect, right? And it's just as much an honor and a blessing to be working with you. And I just want to start off by also saying thank you for sharing your story. But thank you, Lori and Tom. I don't know if you guys even made it on tonight. They're on a cruise as a part of our leadership team. Lori, thank you for asking me and Teresa to come on here and share. Ron, thank you for leading the vision of this company. And just thank you for anybody on our Uforia group that I've come in contact with, because you play a part in our mission. And that, the community and us as people, is the most important part about what we have here. And we have a solution that complements that. So you guys, there's some things I'm going to share that really stick out to me that have helped me get to where I'm at today and where I see myself going and where I see our group going. And then I'll share a little bit of my story. So it sounds cliche, but I'm not a public speaker. I don't do this. I don't get on Zooms and speak all the time. This is literally the first time in 10 months, 9 months since being connected with Uforia to come on here and share. So my whole thing is just be authentic and heart-centered and just share the stuff that stuck out to me, you guys. So again, it's an honor to be here. I want to start off with some of what Ron was talking about in that video, just about the timing of what's actually happening here. And when you look at the old nutrition model versus the new nutrition model, it really is what he's saying is, I remember when I was taking vitamin C, fish oils, multivitamins, and I didn't even know why I was taking them. Somebody at the gym or the bodybuilder next to me just told me, hey, you should take that stuff because it's good for you, right? They're not licensed. They don't know anything. And who are they to tell me what's best for my body, right? I wasn't extreme. I wasn't getting any like super positive benefits from that, right? So you look at what we have here today, we literally are going into our body and saying, my body can now tell me what I need, right? I personally hadn't found this until, like I said, about 9 months ago when Uforia came across my plate, and I was like, that's it just spoke volumes to me. The second thing is kind of in alignment with that is I have seen so many things come across my plate on social media, just in my life and in newspapers and magazines about customized or personalized, right? And it's been forever since it was customized clothes, right? Customize our cars, customize our shoes, customize our diets. These days we can order produce boxes to our house that are customized based on what we want. I've seen things floating around online where you can customize protein now. So not only can you choose how much protein you want in your protein tub, but you can choose what source. Is it whey? Is it pea protein? Where's it at, right? So when you look at where we're going, everything is customizable to get things the way that we want it built, right? I've even seen what Ron was talking about, the customized supplements, and I clicked on it and started poking through, and you can literally tell somebody your height, your weight, what ethnicity you are and stuff like that, and what your goals are and what you're looking to do, and they create a supplement for you. But all they're doing, like you said, is just taking a whole bunch of stuff and they're putting it together and they're sending it to you in a package and telling you to take it. But you know what I mean? Like, it doesn't actually go into your code and say, like, who am I? Like, what am I actually made of that's actually fit for me, right? So when it comes to the timing about what we're going here, and Ron alluded to the tipping point of when this thing really gets out, not just Uforia, but when it gets out about DNA nutrition, where are you going to be at in that process, right? Some people have an attachment to nutrition a little bit more than others, but I'll get to a little bit more of that stuff. With that being said, a little bit about my background and my story. So I'm going to kind of break my story down in two different sections because I really want to touch on what this group has allowed me to do and where I see us going. But my story starts with nutrition. You know what I mean? So 4 years ago, I got introduced to whole food nutrition. The first couple months, I just started having a really positive experience. So I started to eat more fruits and vegetables on a daily basis. From there, my results just elevated. A year later, I ended up completely plant-based, and that's the diet that I live by. But most importantly, what I experienced physically led me, once I got physically healthy, I started getting mentally healthy. I started getting mental clarity that I've never had before. And I started making decisions for myself. I felt empowered. You know, I felt more conscious. Like, I just felt more aware and awake of like, wow, I can do more with my life. And if I didn't get physically healthy because I was fighting disease, I was fighting physical soreness and mental fatigue. And we've all been there, right? Like that 2 o'clock shadow where you just can't think anymore. To me, that was mostly from nutrition, right? So once I got to that point, I started experiencing I can do something different with my life. And that's where I found a business opportunity very similar to this. And like I said, that was about 3 years ago. With that being said, where I come from is a very stereotypical middle-class family. Get a good job. Get a good education, get a good job, climb the corporate ladder. And when you're in your 50s and 60s, you can travel the world and do whatever you want on 40% of your income, right? Mind you, the student debt, the car debt, the house debt, and everything up to that point. I was in that at the time. At the exact time that I started to experience a health transformation within myself, I was settling into a corporate job, and I had just been brought on permanently, and they say, hey, you'll work 40 hours a week. This is what you get paid. I wasn't working 40 hours a week. I was working 50 and 60 hours a week, and I was still getting paid the same, right? And I saw people who stayed in that situation probably because they didn't know where to go. You know what I mean? And it was a huge blessing of mine to have a community around me. It was really just a friend of mine actually that shared something just like this with me, just like this. And it just stuck out to me. And I was like, hey, you know what? Like, I'm starting to feel better. Like, maybe I should seek this out. A year later, I made the complete jump, and I call it jumped off the cliff, and ended up doing entrepreneurship full time. And like I said, that's been about 3 years ago. So not to go super deep into the stories, but I want to say that like that, something like this came across my plate that opened my mind, and I jumped in, right? So it's been a journey ever since. We're still going on it. And the other thing I want to touch on is business. And this is something that's been taught to me, and I'm just passing the message along here. I'm just a messenger, is passive and residual income. If you're familiar with it, is getting paid continuously long after the work has originally been done. And it was shared with me, how much money you make will never indicate financial freedom for you. And I didn't really believe that, because I was like, well, if somebody gave you like $1 million, you know what I mean? A couple $1 million, like, I'm sure I'd be financially free. I met a doctor who was making $250,000 a year, and he was broke because he was spending $250,000 a year. His car, his student loans to get his education, his family and everything like that. He didn't have, let alone have any time. You know what I mean? Like, he's so stressed out. He had no time. He had no money. He couldn't even be with his family. So how much money you make is not indicative of it, but it's how you make the money, right? So the cliche examples of passive income are an author that writes a book, and every time somebody buys the book, that continuously get paid. You either own real estate or you build real estate, and every time somebody pays their monthly rent, right? A lot of us, everybody's a real estate investor in one way or another. You create that platform where you're getting paid on a monthly basis. That's what we're looking at today, where we have an opportunity to build a business helping people get a solution to their health that people are looking for. And we've just seen it through Teresa's story, through what Ron is sharing. And I ask you this question: who do you know that's not interested in their health these days? Everybody is, right? It's all over social media. It's all over the news, all the health scares, everything, right? And who's not conscious of like, hey, what can I do to take the next step, right? And that's just something that like just really speaks volumes to me. So like I said, when you look at my story about where I came from, my coming to life story, like I say, is coming through nutrition. Like, the reason I'm at where I'm at today is because it started by getting my physical health right. That's not everybody's story. But like I said, today it's me and Teresa sharing our story. And I can only hope that one person on this call, this can impact them, at least one person, or you know somebody who has a story who can relate to Teresa or I, and this maybe can inspire you to maybe go out and speak to that person and share them, hey, there may be a better way for you. You know what I mean? So with that being said, I'm not going to keep it very long. I'm going to wrap it up right now. First thing is get back with the person that invited you. If you want a customized, right? I'll use that term, a customized call where you can actually talk specifically about this product or about this business and what it can do for you. And then I'm going to take the words from Luke, and I don't know where he got it from, but I love how Luke breaks it down. And he asks you this: when it comes to this opportunity, whether you're looking at health or you're looking at an opportunity to change your life financially, if not this, then what? Right? Because we just talked about there's only a couple of things that actually produce residual passive income on a regular basis. So if it's not this, then what? The other question is, if it's not now, then when? Because I know I waited 6 or 9 months into it. And if I would have made those changes, who knows what would have happened? I don't know. But you know what I mean? Like I said, I saw people from that corporate job that I was at. They're great friends, but they're still there. You know what I mean? They're still doing the same thing, and they probably just don't know exactly how to get out. And then the last question, if not you, then who? And the reason I ask that question is because if you're on this call right now, you now have this knowledge where you can't not know what you just heard, right? So who out there can benefit from what you have? All right. And I'm going to leave you guys on that note. So thank you guys so much for listening. Teresa, thank you for sharing. Thank all you guys for joining. And like I said, I hope somebody was impacted tonight. With that being said, I love you guys. Good night.